Hello, everyone. I want to take a few minutes and talk about the ISL assignment. ISL stands for Institutional Student Learning Outcomes. This is part of our college's accreditation. And so this is a mandatory assignment for all students that are taking a core math class. So this is not a Mr. H requirement. This is not a department requirement. This is a college requirement. A student that does not complete and submit the assignment with at least a minimum score of 75% will not be able to do any additional assignments after midterm until he or she completes the ISL assignment with 75% or higher. So on the module content page for the ISL assignment, gives you a little bit of explanation. It will give you the due date, and it gives you the skill set that it's going to be assessing. So things you want to make sure you have is your first and last name, your banner ID number, your ACES email. So it's whatever you use to log into ACES at student.alamo.edu. The CRN course and section. So you'll need to check ACES on that. Your instructor's first and last name, and it should be Hugh, Matthew. And you need to be ready to show your work. Answer the questions in complete sentences. Use the rubric to ensure you meet the standards of skillful emerging. Submit the form and check your email for the PDF and upload a PDF to the assignment. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you download the ISL workbook problems and then watch the video and take notes. So the video will go through a couple scenarios where students trying to determine what grade they need to get on the final exam in order to get a specific grade in the course. Now, what should happen is that the next page, it should have the correct course and section that you're in. It's always good to double check it. What I try to do is that for each class I have stacked together into one Canvas course. I just try to assign this page to just those folks in that section. But like, for example, this says Math 1314 Section 3. Notice what it says up here. That means that this class may have been stacked with another class. I'm just putting it in one Canvas shell. So make sure you double check that information and make sure it's correct and matches what you have in ACES. That is the one you're going to need to click on, because if I'm teaching 5 or 6 sections of this course in a particular semester, you have to make sure you select the correct one. And this video I'm currently making, I'm going to house here. So make sure that you finish watching the video to the end. Now, on the next page, do not click Start Assignment. You first need to go through and read each of these 4 tabs. So again, every student enrolled in a college-level math class is required to complete this assignment. And then this is what we're assessing on. And the grade for this assignment will be 0 if you do not upload the PDF results sent to your ACES email after you complete the form. Click on the tool. So again, you're allowed to use a calculator. You'll need your ACES user name. And remember, the email address you're going to be using is the ACES username at student.alamo.edu. Your banner ID, and again, my name. It'll be listed Hugh, Matthew, the course section CR that you are taking for this class. This is the grading rubric. This is what they're going to be using to assess this. So make sure you read through this grading rubric so you understand what they are talking about, how they're assessing you. Don't click on next. Now notice it's out of total 45 points. I'll change it to a percentage when I enter it in. So it'll be out of 100%. And don't click on Start Assignment. Don't click on Next. Scroll back up here, go to your instructions. You're going to click on the next tab, which completes the form you need to complete. Answer the questions for it. Make sure you show all your work in the boxes provided, all steps. Answers only will be rejected for question number 1. You're going to then submit to the form, check your email. Again, so you'll be your ACES email, ACES ID at student.alamo.edu. Look for the email. It will say something like ISL Fall 2025 assignment. It'll then have your name and banner ID number. You'll download the PDF and save it to your desktop. Do not change the file name. And then, only then, are you going to click on Start Assignment and upload the PDF. So here's the actual form. So you'll put your name, your banner ID number. I'm just making something up here. Your ACES your ACES email. And it's like in this example, notice I have 5 different sections. You gotta make sure you click on the right section. Otherwise, they're going to make you do the form again. So if you're enrolled in section 124, make sure you click on that one. If you're enrolled in section number 2, make sure you click on the correct section. And then scenario 1, this is where you're going to be doing your calculations. Based on the following data in one of your courses, calculate the final score needed to secure an A, that'd be a 90% or higher average in the course. Ensure that you show all the steps in the calculations. Note all averages out of 100. So you want to type in your calculation. So if you, at some point, if you multiply 0.15 by 84, type that in there. And then whatever that answer is. And then so on and so forth. So you're just going to be typing all your calculations in here. Show all your work. Show how you're solving the equation. So if you end up with, let's say after you've typed a bunch of calculations, you end up with something like 0.2x equals, I'm just making up a number here, 24, then, or I guess maybe 18 would be a little bit more reasonable. Then you can write here, divide by 0.2, and then on your next step, write down the answer. But show all these steps, all these calculations. How much steps you show? Show enough steps so someone looking at your work can follow what you're doing. Question 2. So now you've done the same thing for your friend. You've done all these calculations and you determined that your friend must score 113 on the final exam to get an A. And your friend was hoping to get an A for the course. And you're assuming there's no extra credit. You want to explain your results to your friend and what he or she should expect. Is it possible for them to get an A? Well, you want to address that. And maybe discuss what would be a more reasonable grade to expect. Third scenario, so you just write a few sentences here, 3 or 4 sentences here. And then on this last one, your friend needs to take a math test and they are confident they will not do well. They have expressed to you that they will use their notes even though the instructor said they could not. What advice would you give your friend? So you want to answer that question. And then also address what are the possible consequences that could happen that you would share with your friend if they were to get caught. So what are the consequences? You want to share that. So it's kind of a 2-part question. Then you're going to click on Submit here. Once you've answered these 3, click on Submit. And once you're submitted, you're going to have to go back into ACES. You need to click on your Alamo College's email. So look for the card that says the Alamo College's email. You're going to click on that. And sometimes it has to think about it. Sometimes it makes you put in like it took me in directly this time, but sometimes you might have to enter in your student, sorry, excuse me, your ACES user ID at student.alamo.edu to get in. It'll take you here. Look in your inbox. You're looking for something that has a title of like ISLO Fall 2025 assignment. It should then have your like name and banner ID number afterwards. And then what you will do is you would download that PDF, save it to your desktop. And if you're not seeing your inbox, you can then go down here. You may want to check your junk email. Make sure it didn't get sent to junk. Once you download it and save to your desktop, go back here. And so now, once you have that PDF saved, you're finally ready to start the assignment. Click on Start Assignment. And then you can either drag your PDF up into this box here, or you can just click on here. You're going to search and until you find the correct file on your desktop. Click Open. Make sure you see that file up here. I just kind of picked up one, kind of a random file here, but it should say ISLO Fall 2025 assignment, blah, 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 blah. Make sure it's attached here, and then you can click on Submit. When you click on Submit, you should get some confetti showing that successfully submitted. Once you've done that, I will need to go in and manually check to make sure everything is in order, if everything's correct. If so, then I'll go ahead and grade it. Please contact me if you've got questions on how to do the ISL assignment, or if you're having issues receiving the ISL assignment to your email address. Thank you very much, and good luck.